Welcome back to my channel. I'm Diana Clark. I'm an interior decorator in San Diego, California. I like to think of myself as an eco-friendly, budget-friendly decorator, and by that I mean that I usually just rearrange what my clients already own and love to make their place more beautiful. But sometimes you need to fill in with a new piece, and when that happens, my first line of defense is to go to a thrift store. Well, this morning I was invited to go to the Salvation Army thrift store in downtown San Diego. They opened the store before technical opening hours for me, and I got to go through and thrift my fool brains out. It was great fun for me, and why don't you come along now and see what happened, because it's going to be great fun for you too. Well, here we are at the grand entrance to the thrift store, and I do have a favor to ask. If you like this video, please take a second to give it a thumbs up, hit that little like button. I would so appreciate that. Well, I've barely made it through the front door, and I'm talking 10 feet, and I'm already in paradise, as you knew I would be, because look at all of this amazing stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to love all of it, but I love that there are so many choices. If you've watched some of my other videos, maybe you already know that one of the things I love to do is group things by color. It is such a great way to take a bunch of small stuff that could look like clutter, put it together, and it makes a nice big decorating statement. So let's just shop these shelves right here and see what we can find. So what I've done here is arrange three things together, and you can see that it already looks stunning, but then my theory is more. So I'm going to add this piece, which I think greatly adds to it. But one of my design rules of thumb is group things in odd numbers, like 3 and 5. So 4 isn't such a great number, but look what happens when we maybe add a plate on a stand. What you have right now here is a wonderful grouping of things that are a similar color that, by the way, remind me of the Caribbean, which is always a good thing. One of my decorating mantras for sure is objects of art and other interesting objects always look best when elevated. And so imagine how excited I am when I find various ways to elevate things. For example, I think this is probably meant to be a candle holder, but what the heck? Put your houseplant on it. It could look great. Or check this out. You could put a bowl or a plant or whatever in this. If this were mine, the first thing I might do is spray paint it orange. In other words, when you're in a thrift store, don't feel constrained. If you don't like the color, you can change the color. The price is so right that it's absolutely worth doing something like that. Or maybe sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll find an actual stand like this one, meant to be that, and this baby is only $1.89. How can you go wrong? Let's go find something to put on this, and then we can show you how much better that thing looks when you elevate it on this. So for example, I found this wonderful blue glass bowl, which I think is divine, and by the way, $3.99. It looks great the way it is, but in my opinion, it looks even greater when you elevate it a little bit. Look what happens when I put it on the stand. It just looks more important to me. That's a really nice combination, so always be on the lookout for stands or anything that can function as stands. One of the things I always do when I'm thrifting is try to keep a really open mind. I was looking for stands and I found this. This would make a wonderful stand for something, but you know what else it could be? It could be a little tray to hold that necessary but ugly stuff. Toss your keys in it, put your jewelry in it. Oh, that's not ugly, but anyway, put your jewelry in it at night beside the bed. You could use it as a soap dish. I always think it's a good idea to gather up things that you really need to have around you and you need to have them out every day, but they're not so pretty. The minute that you contain them on something like this or something bigger, you have turned the ugly but necessary into something beautiful. Speaking of stuff that's necessary that you want to keep out but that isn't very pretty, this is so cool. I absolutely love this tissue box holder. People, there is no excuse for having your Kleenex in the cardboard box that it comes in from the store when you can go to the thrift store and find a little gem like this. Here's another great Kleenex box holder, which I also love. So let's say you're shopping for one specific thing, like a tissue box cover. Well, just because you saw them in one department, you need to walk all over the store, because after I showed you those other ones, I walked to a whole different area and I found a fabulous one. So don't think you have to score the first one you see. Look everywhere. And yet another really interesting tissue box. Different shape, same principle. This is nice. I'm a big fan of whimsy. I think that every room ought to have a touch or two of it. And I just fell in love with this little seashell shaped container. This is $5.99. Well worth it. I think little notes like this can just put a smile on your face. And speaking of whimsy, I also love this little piece. It sort of reminds me of an artichoke, and I think it's very cute. I think it's originally meant for a candle, but you could use it for all sorts of stuff. Just any little thing you want to put in here. It's adorable. Check this out. I think this is just a wonderful, exuberant splash of color. And by the way, I think if you want to wake up happy every day, you should see at least one bright splash of color in your room. And this could be it. I'm pretty much in love with mirrors because of the way that they can reflect light. Let's say that you have a fairly dark room. If you can position a mirror like this great big beautiful baby directly across from a window, it will capture the light and diffuse it throughout your room. One important rule of thumb when hanging mirrors in a room, though, I think, is you should check what is that mirror going to reflect. If it's going to reflect something that isn't very pretty, that's not the place for the mirror. But ideally, if you can reflect a view from your window or something like that, that would be just perfect. Lots of my clients live in small homes, like really tiny, under 500 square feet. And I am always on the lookout for things that can make small spaces appear bigger. And one of my go-to solutions for a coffee table is to use something like these tables, which I got very excited when I ran into them, because the fact that you can see through the glass means that they don't take up as much visual real estate as a solid table would. And I also love that this is one coffee table or two end tables. I like to use something like this as a coffee table, and then if I need to, I can pick it up really easily and move it somewhere else. So when you're in a small space and you can have flexible furniture that can do double duty and that you can easily move around when you need to, like you have a guest who needs to set a cup of coffee down on a table, you can move it. Perfect. Speaking of choosing flexible furniture for small spaces, this is terrific. This could be a footstool when you need it, but it could also be a great end table or coffee table. Just put a nice wood tray on top here and voila, you've got a handy coffee table. Here we are now in the lamp department, which, as you can see, is loaded with interesting stuff. It's pretty much a lamp shopper's heaven. This baby caught my eye right away. I just love the simplicity of it, the lines. I think everything about it is great, and it works very well by itself. But let's say that you need bedside lamps and you want a pair. Listen, there is no rule that says you have to have 2 lamps that match. You can have 2 lamps that go together. For example, I think that this one would look really great with this one. So they both have contemporary lines. The colors are similar, they're simple. Now, if you have one on one side of the bed and the other on the other side of the bed, the key here is that they're not quite the same height. So what I would do is I would raise this one up, maybe put a couple of books under it, or a stand, which I'm pretty sure you can find at a Salvation Army store, so that they're the same height. That's the important thing with bedside lamps. They do not need to be matching, but it's good if they are almost the same height. I think just about the quickest, easiest, least expensive way to change the look of a room is to change the throw pillows on your sofa. And here we are in throw pillow paradise. Would you look at all of these choices? This actually kind of gets my heart racing. I especially love this pillow. It has such a nice natural organic feel to it. And honestly, this looks like $1,000,000, but it is $7.50. I swear in a regular design store, this would be a gazillion or so dollars. Here's the thing, it has a tiny smudge of dirt back here, but no big deal because it has a key thing, which is a zipper. You can easily remove the cover and get it cleaned and put it back. When you're shopping for throw pillows, always look for that zipper because you will love that feature. But is this not beautiful? I was just reading what the 2021 design trends are, and one of the top ones was people are looking for furnishings that bring them comfort. And this is kind of a classic example. Not only do I love the color, I just love the fluffy furriness of it. It feels cozy psychologically. And I think with this pandemic, all of us are looking to make our nests feel more cozy for us. This would definitely do the job. Now, you know, one pillow is never enough. So let's shop for some other ones that might go together. I found this piled behind a bunch of other stuff. The color of the poppy at the top caught my eye, and I thought, oh, what's that? So when you're thrifting, you gotta move stuff around. Don't be shy. In fact, we've moved half the store just this morning. But look at what happens when you pick up some of the colors in this fabulous artwork. You can do a lot of neat things. So imagine this over your sofa and these on your sofa. It is just a fabulous, quick, inexpensive way to change your whole look. Earlier I talked about the repetition of color, but another thing that I think makes for great decor is repetition of pattern. Look at what happens. See this wonderful pattern right here and how it's echoed in the pillow? When I see those together, repeating each other, I just think, oh, I don't know, it kind of gives me goosebumps. Now, guess what? I have some big news. You can buy this whole grouping, the pillows and the painting, out the door, $22. Have you checked out what it costs to get something framed these days? It is crazy. So your first line of defense is absolutely come to the thrift store. But if you're shopping for frames, don't be distracted by the artwork that's in it. Maybe you don't like the artwork, but maybe the frame would work. And don't be distracted by the frame's color because you can paint them. As if everything I've shown you wasn't affordable enough already, check out this super deal that they offer. Every day of the week when you come into the store, look for this sign and it'll tell you what color price tag to look for. So this week, if it has a white tag, 50% off. Next week it might be a different color, and the week after that a different color, but check this sign first for your big 50% discount. Well, this is me. I'm exhausted from some of the best thrifting I could imagine. If you don't go to the Salvation Army store downtown, you're crazy. Okay, that's a wrap. Did I not promise you we would have some serious fun? And I think we really did. I hope you do too. And I truly encourage you, the next time you need something new, just go look for something used at a thrift store. You will be so happy you did. And my last word, I think you know what it is. Stay safe, stay healthy, because I love you.